Let's take a look at how to assemble the Hallmaster 132-pound roller stand. I purchased two of these. One of them I've already assembled. This one I'm going to show you some of the major steps on assembly. But the first thing we want to do is look at the parts. Make sure you have all your parts. So you want to make sure you have the roller. And then you're going to have these two cross members that you see here. And I'm going to come in a little bit closer. Each one of these should have this bolt that passes through, like you see here. Inside of here is a little barrel washer that you want to make sure it doesn't fall out. And then this is the barrel nut that's going to keep this up inside the leg, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then of course you have your second cross member, second foot. And then you have your little package with bolt, washer, and Allen wrench. My other one came with two bolts in here. In this case, they put the other bolt already in this part of the stand that telescopes out. And then you have the handle here. That should already be pre-assembled. And then you see this here. And of course, you have the manual. So, these are all the parts that you should have. You might want to pause it, make sure you have them all, and then we'll continue. Alright, so one of the first steps you want to take is you want to take this barrel nut off. While you're doing so, you want to make sure you hold this in place. Why? Because there's another barrel washer inside of here that prevents this from passing all the way through. So if you take this out, you're going to make sure that this doesn't fall out and that barrel washer get lost inside of here. Otherwise, you got to take the ends off, fish around for it, get it lined up, and put it back through. This barrel nut is going to go through this hole right here. And then if you can see this slot right here, this fits up inside. That's going to go up inside this barrel washer. So what you're going to end up with, and unfortunately this is black. Let's see if I can get some light on this for you. If you can see that in there. That hex head bolt is going through this cross member and then up into that barrel nut. So you got to get the barrel nut lined up so this bolt goes through correctly. Okay? And you're going to do that on both cross members. So again, make sure you hold on to that guy so when you're placing it up in here, he doesn't fall out and then you lose that other barrel nut inside of there. So make sure you keep your finger on that, okay? So the next step is you want to get that barrel nut placed inside the leg. You're going to do one at a time. I'm showing you both at the same time so that you can see a little bit better. So you want that barrel nut, I wish I would come into focus. You want him in there, like you see here. And you want to get the threaded hole pointed towards the front. Now unfortunately these guys have a tendency to move around, so I'm showing you this without the tape. So before you go to put the bottom cross member or foot on there, put some tape. I use duct tape, you can use electrical tape. Put some tape on that guy, and that'll hold him in place so he doesn't slide around while you're trying to find the hole with the bolt. So your next step is keeping your thumb on this guy to bring him in and thread him into that barrel nut, okay? Once you've got the cross members bolted in place, make sure that, I don't know if you can see this very well, that barrel nut is sticking out about the same amount of distance on both sides, because if it's just at the edge of coming in, then later on while you're working it may come out. So if you find they're not symmetrical or even on both sides like you see there, you might want to loosen it up just a tad, just enough to tap that so it's even on both sides, so that it's not going to fall out or do anything you don't want it to do. The next step is to take those two bolts and then pass them down through that chrome top telescoping member that you see there. And you'll notice this is the part that has the notch in it, so I'm going to come at it from this angle. You can see that little notch at the very top, which is right there. So you're going to pass those through. You're going to find that they go in at an angle. I'm going to turn this over now. So you want them to come out the other side where the two holes are. So the opposite to this is the slotted side. And then there's two holes on this side. Make sure you put the washers on there. So what your assembly is going to look like is like this. Okay? So that cross member, that part of the cross member is right there, sitting up for you. Now, I found that I couldn't just tighten it down with my fingers. I needed, let's see, this was a 10 millimeter. I needed a 10 millimeter socket. You could also use an adjustable crescent for these nuts right here. So now what you should have is something that looks like this. You've got the nuts on the other side. And then you've got the cross members at the bottom. And remember to keep those barrels as symmetrical as you can. But this is what it looks like. Very handy tool. And I use it quite often for the longer members of material that I have to cut. So I hope this helps you out. If you found this useful, please press like. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel. And as always, good luck on your projects.